What is up, everybody? This is the Shogun bringing you more videos. In this case, this is a video to the guide that I'm writing for Kelvin. I guess this is just to show some of the gameplay on the ideas of what I'm going for. Now, I will say now, before the video starts, that ultimately we ended up losing. I believe it's pretty bad too, but in a sense that it was a team effort loss, not a Kelvin loss, as you'll see. That I did fairly good with him, and well, you'll just see in the video. But this is just basically to show the idea that I was going for with Kelvin and trying to explain it in the guide, so you can get like a video interpretation of what I'm trying to say. Now, um, I will list various gear that you could use with Kelvin as far as to give his idea. I mean, I feel he's pretty good. A lot better than what I thought he was. I thought he was pretty much gimp after the fact that he got those nerfs, but used properly, yeah, he's pretty good. So I'll just touch bases on a couple of things as the video goes on. So I like to save my chump for enemies unless I scare opponents away. With chump, it does a pretty decent amount of damage every 5 seconds, but ultimately I try to go for chumps to get the minion kills and get extra life. Now I play fairly aggressive with Kelvin. Actually, you can, because of if you have your sublimate, because that's pretty much a get out of jail free card. Just about any circumstance, unless you're extremely deep inside the enemy territory, you'll be able to escape and back into your territory, no problem. So I'm a little bit more reckless, as I know I have that have that up. Just like Atticus, where I would jump out of situations, it's the same way with Kelvin. I'll sublimate out of situations because that's, I guess in that case, control techs are pretty good in that case of being able to get out of situations. Um, so as you see, I went to the opposite end. I was just trying to get some wave clear as I was getting shards. I try to get my shards out the way, like I do with all tanks. I try to get them out the way as soon as possible because you want to be on the front lines as much as possible. Now, see, as you see, I'm switching between standard melee and my L2 melee, or the alternate melee. Now, standard melee does more damage than the AoE. The AoE just gives you more success for damage, but it doesn't do as much. The standard melee damage actually does a decent amount more, especially over time. You'll start noticing the difference. It does about 20 more damage a hit, and the attack speed is about the same. So overall, every 4 hits, you probably get an extra 100 damage or so, which is pretty good if you know how to aim your deal. And as you see, if you've seen the video, you see me doing, excuse me, random bites. Those bites basically to get my passive going, the permafrost, because even if you don't connect with a bite, you'll be able to still get that overshield buff. And it helps in a lot of cases, especially with the legendary, which you'll see later in the video. I mean, his legendary is amazing for tanking. I didn't know how good it was until I just sat down and started using it. But it's amazing, as even if you whiff the bite, you'll still be able to get that extra shield. And dealing with the reduction, it's really good. By level 5, when you get the damage reduction, it's really, really good. You can almost get a all-time reduction, so it's pretty good. You see, as you can see right here, the bite actually saved me. I'm glad he missed his cross slash, but it actually saved me. Choices, I love to get the bite where it does more damage based off the amount of health you have. It's a 3% damage for based off your health. So if you have 1,000 health, it's an extra 30 damage, which may not seem like a lot, but as you start building health, it gets really good. I believe Chump's standard damage is about 60. So even at his base health of level 1, which is 2,000, he'll get an extra 60 damage. So it's basically doubled damage. So it's actually 120 bite base damage on level 1 without increased health. Now by end game Kelvin, you can get him up to 4,000 health. So that's an additional ooh, excuse me, I'm sorry, kind of throat hurt, but additional 120. So it pretty much triples in that case. So it's really good, and it varies with skill damage also, to a certain point, and based off their health too. So you can get Chump taking about 600 by the end of the game. And here I'm just doing a little wave clear. Like I said, I try to get by as often as possible. My team, for the most part, were getting pretty handled pretty well. I wouldn't say that I was trying to leave them, as opposed to they just I guess they were fairly new. They were like level 5, level 7. We were going against a couple of 100s, so I guess they're fairly new. I didn't want to leave them. I was like, well, let's just play. Just trying to do a video guide per se. Like here, I couldn't do the control tanking like I wanted to, because I didn't have my I guess I didn't. I knew I didn't have the teammates to properly execute the follow-ups. But what I like to do, I like to run around and just bite in circles and just control the enemies around when it's a 2v1, and wait for teammates to get there and take them out. But as you see, the teammates are dying fairly quickly. And like I said, I like to be pretty in their face when I know I got sublimate, for the fact I know I can get out of jail, or I can escape. Like in this case right here, and I was able. In this case, it's kind of sorta the idea I would like to go for, but I didn't have it yet. But as you can see, the random bites that I'm doing, just biting, getting that sublimate, really helps. And he tried to go really deep for that kill. And the thing I forgot to mention, the health regeneration gear that I have. Now it gives me shield recharge rate and health. So overall, I'm getting health. As you see, my shield slowly recharging at 6.2, because of the secondary effect of it. So total, it's like I'm getting about 13 health regeneration a second, as opposed to other, I guess, rare health regeneration where you get about 9. So overall, this will give you more for health regeneration. That's why I love it so much. I guarantee, or I recommend all Kelvins that have that, because he does have a shield. It's just that he has a negative shield recharge rate, so he never gets to get it. But if you have that item, you'll actually slowly be able to recharge shield and health. Now it's not as good as just health regeneration, where it's overall regenerating health, but it does help when you're going from one area to the other, or control tanking in a sense. It does help some in that case. And here we go, perfect example of what I try to do for control tanking. I see my Shane teammate is having some issues, so I try to give them follow up or give them help, and ultimately try to take down opponents. But in this case, if the enemies were to stay after the wave clear, I would go and try to circle around and tank, and just basically have them focus me at the time. So now I got my 1800 shots. Now I got my second legendary. This is where I feel that Kelvin can really start tanking. Now I chose the attack damage build with Kelvin, because I recommend shield penetration and the health regeneration guardian shield breaker as a form of damaging, because you'll be able to bypass shields with the bite and do a lot more damage to them. I mean, it can, when Umbra's overshield is up, it can literally just take her out after her flame shield comes in. So I try to use that for damage. But in this case, I'll go for tanking first before I go damage, as I can always just sustain enough to try to get a kill, like I can in this case with Umbra. Kelvin's probably one of the best characters to take out Umbra tank wise. I mean, he can do it a lot better than what Boulder can, and I see that he can take out Umbra a lot better than Boulder. And my bite is up to about 500 damage now. Originally, it's supposed to have a base of like 60, but I'm chumping enemies right now for about 500, and that's at level 5. By level 10, I believe I've gotten Chump to do about 670. So it can get really strong, and that's every 5 seconds. Or 4 seconds if you use the cooldown. But here you go. In this case, I would control tank. In this case, but seeing as I like I said with the teammates, I know that I wouldn't be able to get a follow up. But the idea is to run around in circles and just chomp and just basically just hold the area, control the area until your teammates get there as they're chasing you. So sprint speed works pretty good with Kelvin. It works really well. The root T, which I'll be explaining in the guide, but the root T is really good for control tanking because it gives you the effect as if you're having an extra 20 health regeneration per second. So it's really good. There you go with the double bite. You see how I missed the bite on purpose just to get that permafrost, and then ultimately biting Cleese. Like I said, I mean I'm holding the left lane pretty good. I was alternating between, but just for the fact that so many minions were coming in, I couldn't alternate. Normally I'll alternate between the lanes, but just for the fact that so many minions were coming in and I have so many enemies that it was really hard to try to alternate. So I saw Raz coming. I knew he was going to try to go for a cataclysmic smash and a dread win, so I went ahead and just sublimated. Now here, I try to control this lane as best as possible. See with the double bites and just control tank right here and try to sustain as long as I can until teammates get here is the idea. And let's see, I have Shane and Norix to come in and help. Here you go. In cases like this is when I use a ground pound, and that's just to knock enemies back when they're trying to get out of a situation. That's when I'll use that over standard melee. But overall, it's usually I go for standard melee in one-on-one fights because it's a lot more damage over time. So yeah, I'm trying to back her back into our Shane as she tried to back up. So it's a really good tactic. See now this right there, but it is Toby, but that's where Kelvin's biggest weakness is stun. Any character with stun, I highly recommend you to be cautious because once Kelvin is stunned, it's pretty much lights out for him. Everything hits him. He can't do the double jump to get shield and all of that, so he can take a lot of damage while he's stunned because he's such a big target. And it's just watch out for stun if you're a Kelvin. So characters like Galileo, Boulder, Montana, in cases if he doesn't remove a stun, pretty bad characters for Kelvin. And then of course you have your burst damage characters like Benedict, and well I couldn't say Thorn. Thorn is actually he does pretty good against Thorn. So. But yeah, you see we got the defeat, but as you can see, I did fairly well. 42 minions, 5 kills, 0 deaths. Overall, you'll see that, with this type of build, you can do pretty good with Kelvin. I just wish I had the team to support it. And this might not be my only video. I might end up making another video later, just showcasing Kelvin's abilities. I just thought I'd do a little video from a match and just post it with the guide that comes with it. So you can see with the minions, more than likely with the minions I should have the most damage. I believe I do have the most damage, and I believe I've taken the most damage in this fight. Let's see. Minions, objectives, I'm building a lot of stuff. Yeah,